Alright, so we are tinting the taillights, trying to get it to match the center brake light. It's getting pretty close. We'll let that dry. That's the second coat, and we'll see how that looks. If it's close enough, then we're going to clear over it and should have matching tint across the way. Alright, so here are the taillights after the final clear coat, and they match the center brake light pretty well. So I'm happy those turned out. I'm going to try to install these on the car, see how they all fit, along with all those trim pieces and everything back there. So as you see, we took the front clip off the car and installed the front bumper. There were these brackets on the front over the holes here, and then some of these just set on the front here. These had rivets in them, so we could just cut those off or drill those out. And then this bigger piece had 3 welds on the top and bottom. We just ground those off and then took it off. And then as you saw, we just slid it in right in the holes. It bolts right in. And we had to cut a hole in the front headlight buckets and everything. But that's fine. It's still bolted in where we originally had it. And now we have a front bumper on the car. And you can see through the front area for the grill that we have the front bumper in there. I'm glad we got that in there. It's gonna be a lot safer with that there, and it'll actually pass inspection that way. So if you look here, we actually lowered the front end a little bit. We dropped it about 2.5, 3 inches. And we basically just got some cheap coilovers offline. They're used, they're not staying in the car by any means, but we wanted to see how low we need to lower it for it to look good, and if we were going to scrape on everything. If we're going to be scraping with how low we need it to be, then we're going to try to do air suspension, but if not, we seem to be scraping a little bit, so we're going to adjust these and figure out the proper ride height before deciding to go coilovers or airbags. So it actually looks really good how low it is now, but it's scraping. It scraped coming out of the garage. It scraped coming off the driveway. Not terrible, but we're gonna try adjusting that, raise it up a little bit and see how high it actually has to be to not scrape on things. And then if it still looks good, we can do coilovers. If not, we'll figure something out. So the car's kind of dirty right now, but I got the trunk pins installed. Just have the pins sitting in there and then latches in. My sister made me this Pittsburgh Vaydor sticker, and I think it looks pretty good. We have the dashboard, the screen, the gauge cluster, all the AC vents, that little screen in the middle up there, all in the car. We got the seats bolted in, we got seat belts in there. We don't have the buckle for the passenger seat one yet. We lost it, so we're just gonna order a new one that should be here pretty soon. Get it right before we get it inspected. And up here, I'm gonna have to clean up all this wiring and everything. But we have a new wiper motor. This is actually a marine wiper. We're doing a single wiper, just up and down, and we have to finalize all that wiring. Then I can put that cowl cover back on, and then it'll all be buttoned up. The exterior will be pretty much done, not completely yet. I'm gonna have to do the trim piece there, inner fender liners in the front. I put different grill mesh in the front end. I think I'm gonna swap all the grill mesh to this. It's an ABS black plastic. There's still a gap right here. I have to create another mounting tab for the bottom in here, but I got the middle one, the side one, and I didn't get this one yet because I once again ran out of tabs, so I'm gonna have to go buy some more of those, and then I can get all these grills in, but not super focused on that right now since it's not a super important part of the build for at least getting it inspected. As you see, we have those side markers there. They're pretty boring. They just light up orange. Headlights are all working, got all the wiring finalized for that. And we raised the car back up about 1 inch, and it's not scraping on the driveway anymore. So we're hoping to get it out on the road and drive it around a little bit more pretty soon here and go over some speed bumps, see if it scrapes on any stuff like that before figuring out if we need to raise it, lower it, or what we actually have to do. And you may notice that it's not on right now, but the center brake light here, the right side of it is dead. There's something wrong with the wiring inside of it, so I'm gonna have to use the Dremel and cut it apart and get in and figure out all the wiring. But for right now, I'm gonna leave it just so, once again, inspection, all that, and then I can mess with all that stuff and get it working again.